You're going to waste years of your life waiting for permission from people who don't care about you. Marcus Aurelius knew this. He was the most powerful man on earth, and he still had to choose. Control what's in front of him or be controlled by it. Today, you get to learn what took him a lifetime to master. Here is the problem set up. Most people live backwards. They react to the day instead of directing it. Something goes wrong. Their mood collapses. Someone criticizes them. Their confidence breaks. They chase what they can't control. Other people's opinions, outcomes they haven't earned yet, futures that don't exist. Then years pass, and they realize they gave away every ounce of power they had. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor. He had legions, he had wealth, and his journal, the Meditations, wasn't about victory. It was about this. What do I actually control, and how do I control myself? Here's what most men miss. He wrote those lessons for himself, not for us. He was reminding himself of hard truths daily because forgetting them was easy, just like you. Stoic Principle 1. You only control your choices. Everything you suffer over is either in your control or it isn't. Acting like it isn't is where your suffering begins. Explanation. Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your job, the economy, what people think of you, whether you get sick, none of this is yours to control. But here's what is, how you respond, what you decide to do next, whether you panic or whether you move. Most men spend their energy on the uncontrollable and wonder why they're exhausted. Stop. Draw the line. What's yours to control? Your effort, your attention, your character. Everything else is noise. When was the last time you wasted an hour worrying about something you couldn't change? Stoic Principle 2. Difficulty is the material. Obstacles aren't interruptions to your path. They are your path. Explanation. Marcus didn't write about the good days. He wrote about leading troops, managing an empire during plague, dealing with betrayal. His Meditations is a record of how to stay steady when everything is pushing you down. Here's the Stoic truth. If you want strength, you need resistance. If you want character, you need to be tested. A smooth life builds nothing. It's the difficult day, the difficult person, the rejection. That's where you actually become someone. When something is hard, most people ask, why is this happening to me? The warrior asks, what is this teaching me? Be honest. What problem are you avoiding right now because it's uncomfortable? Stoic Principle 3. Death ends the show. You are not promised tomorrow. Use that to decide what matters today. Explanation. Marcus returned to this constantly. He was emperor with decades of life ahead, and he still wrote, you could leave life right now. Not to be morbid, to be clear. When you really accept that this could end, your life, someone else's life, your opportunity, suddenly petty drama disappears. That argument about something stupid, meaningless, that project you're putting off, now it matters that person you keep meaning to reconcile with. Stop waiting. Most men live like they have infinite time. They don't. You don't. This isn't depression. This is clarity. And it's the most powerful tool Stoics use to stay focused on what actually matters. Stoic Principle 4. Your judgments create your suffering. It's not events that disturb you, it's what you decide those events mean. Explanation. Here's a hard one. You were rejected. That's the event. But the suffering? That comes from your judgment about it. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. This defines me. Marcus taught this. The event is neutral. You make it good or bad through the story you tell yourself A loss could mean you're failing, or it could mean you're learning. A criticism could wound you, or it could be useful feedback. You choose every single time. You choose what the event means. Most men never realize they have this power. They think the world is happening to them. No, your mind is interpreting the world, and that interpretation is yours to control. What's one bad thing that happened to you that you've decided defines you? What if the story was different? Stoic Principle 5. Live by your principles, not your emotions. Discipline is choosing what matters over what feels good right now. Explanation. Feelings lie. You don't feel like getting up early. You don't feel like having the hard conversation. You don't feel like pushing through the difficult work, so you don't. And then you become someone who doesn't do those things. Marcus was emperor. He could do whatever he wanted. Instead, he woke up before dawn and reminded himself of his principles, not because he felt like it, because he meant something. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about not letting emotion be your compass. Your principles are your compass. Your discipline is what keeps you on it. The man who waits to feel motivated is a slave to his moods. The man who acts on principle is free. Stoic Principle 6. Other people's opinions aren't facts. What someone thinks of you says everything about them and nothing about you. Explanation. Someone is right now thinking badly of you. Maybe multiple people. And there's nothing you can do about it. Marcus understood this deeply. He was emperor. Plenty of people hated him anyway. Your job isn't to change their mind. Your job is to be clear about who you actually are and to act from that place. If you're living by your values, that's enough. Their judgment, it belongs to them. Most men give away their peace by trying to control how others see them. They fail. They become anxious, perform, compromise themselves, and people still judge them anyway. Here's the freedom. Stop trying to convince people. Either they see it or they don't. That's not your burden anymore. Most men won't admit this, will you? How much of your day is spent trying to be liked instead of respected? Stoic Principle 7. Your character is built daily. You are not your past. You are your last decision. Explanation. You're not a fixed thing. You're not the kind of person who does or doesn't do something. Every single day, you choose who you're becoming through your actions. Took a shortcut today? You became someone who takes shortcuts. Told the truth when it was hard. You became more truthful. Helped someone with no benefit? You became more generous. This happens automatically. There's no standing still. Marcus knew he wasn't born a good emperor. He built that character daily through small, intentional choices. Waking early, studying philosophy, checking his ego over and over. You have the same power. Start today. One choice, then tomorrow, another choice. And that's how you rebuild yourself. Stoic Principle 8.8. Community matters, but not popularity. Surround yourself with people who pull you higher, not people who pull you down. Explanation. Marcus had access to everyone he chose to study under philosophers, to take mentorship seriously, to surround himself with people sharper, wiser, and more disciplined than himself. You become the average of your environment. If you're surrounded by complainers, you'll complain. If you're surrounded by people building something, you'll build. This isn't mystical. It's just human nature. The Stoic doesn't care about having many friends. He cares about having real relationships with people who challenge him, tell him the truth, and want his growth. Most men keep people around who make them feel comfortable instead of people who make them better. That's a small price to pay for comfort, or is it? Stoic Principle 9, focus on the present moment. Worrying about tomorrow is just stealing from today. Explanation. Your body is here, your mind, it's everywhere else. In the future, in what you messed up yesterday, in scenarios that don't exist. Marcus returned to this principle relentlessly. Confine yourself to the present. Not because dwelling on the past or future is wrong, but because your actual life is happening now. And you're missing it. The work in front of you, the person you're talking to, the choice you're making, that's real. Everything else is imagination. When you train your attention to stay present, something shifts. You become more effective, more calm, more alive, because you're actually here. Here is the closing challenge. Here's the truth Marcus Aurelius left behind. You already have everything you need to build an extraordinary life. You have the power to control your response. You have discipline. You have the ability to choose your principles over comfort. The only question is, are you actually going to use it? Not tomorrow, not when things get better, now, while you're watching this. Marcus was Emperor of Rome. He didn't have more time than you. He didn't have fewer problems than you. He had one advantage. He made a choice to stop reacting to his life and to start directing it. You can make that same choice right now. Pick one principle from this video 1. Not all 9, not next week. Today and tomorrow, build on it. The Stoics didn't wait for the perfect moment. They moved with what they had. So here's my challenge. Comment below, which principle hit you the hardest? The one that made you realize you're not living it. And then do the work, actually change it. Not because you'll post about it, but because you mean it. The choice is yours. Stay disciplined.